think that kids should grow up with religion? You think that's important for children to indulge in religion?
I believe it's important for children to grow up with some sense of spirituality. You know what I mean? So, because my belief is that I don't want to get caught up in religion, because there's like a whole bunch of different types of religions out there. And one thing I learned through my personal experiences with religion, it can get clouded because man tends to put their information into the word. I believe in a spiritual foundation. You know what I mean? And with those spiritual foundation, it goes with a set of spiritual principles that if you read through any religious text, you'll find these principles, such as love, honesty, open-minded, willingness, respect, kindness, all those spiritual principles. And one thing I talk to kids about and adults about, I talk about how, like, if we have a conversation, you could put any religious sect together. You could be Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, you can get them all in the same room. They'll debate by the way they practice their religion, of who's right and who's wrong. However, if you take away the way they practice their religion and base it on spiritual principles, you will never get an argument, because spiritual principles are never in conflict. That is my take on as far as the difference between religion and spirituality. Always there's a difference to me. That's basically it.
Do you think that kids need to grow up with religion? Do you think it's a good thing for kids to grow up with religion?
Do I think it's a good thing for kids to grow up with religion? I have a problem with the word religion. In my belief or in my relationship, I would say, I think it's good for kids to grow up with principles, with standards, with foundational things that teach them, the difference between right and wrong, loving, caring for people, knowing that it's not just about you in this world. So yeah, I do think it's important for kids to grow up with a sense of spirituality and to see people live it out, not just to have their parents or whomever are their guardians spew things at them, but actually to see them live it out and put it into action what they're showing them. So yeah.
Do you think religion for the child is a do or a don't?
If it's religion for a child to do or don't, I'm gonna speak for myself. I grew up in a religious, I grew up Pentecostal. So religion for me in my household, it was a must. So it was a do for me. The older I got, my mom was, you wanna go to church today? Nah, I'm gonna pass out. I'm gonna pass off on the day, Mom. But from the age of nothing to 16, 17, I was in church, 3 days a week, Sunday school, morning service, afternoon service, evening service. We grew up in a very religious household. Do I think it's essential for these kids today? I think it definitely wouldn't hurt to have some sort of religion. Some people say that Islam ain't where it's at. Some people say Pentecostal, Baptist, Christianity ain't where it's at. Catholicism. End of the day, I don't disrespect any religion. I think it all is meant to go to the same place. It's just different avenues about doing it. So I respect all religions if we are all living the right way. And that's the point where we all need to drive home. If you're going to pinpoint and push religion on people, make sure you're living the right way yourself to the best of your ability. Nobody's perfect. Perfection is it's impossible. So do I think religion is a do or don't? I feel it's a do, as long as we live in the right way.
Do you think religion for children growing up is a help or a hindrance in their lives?
Do I think religion is a hindrance for children? Actually, I think it's a foundation to, a higher power or spirituality. Whereas that growing up, I grew up in church, you know, as basically a Presbyterian Baptist, through my grandmother because she was very religious. But as I've gotten older, like, I don't attend church myself, but I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in spirituality. I do believe in the core values or the principles that, I guess, growing up in church, what my grandma was teaching me, you know, since still, you know, that I still have to this day, as far as family, you know, orientation, love, respect, courtesy of one another, you know, love thy neighbor, you know, those different aspects of, as far as from a religious spirituality standpoint. So is it really a hindrance? Not necessarily, but it's all about, you know, who you believe in. Because you can be in different facets of religion, but they all have a common entity, such as, like you say, God or Buddha, Allah, whoever it be. It's still a higher spiritual being that one believes in.